Could you explain what Islam means to you? Because what we heard tonight through you is a message of faith and hope that we've been waiting for spiritual leaders to deliver for 3.5 decades.
I remember only months after the revolution took place and Khomeini returned to Iran, there were two particular heads of state that I hold in esteem dearly. The late President Sadat of Egypt and the late King Hassan of Morocco. They both said that if this is Islam, we are not Muslims. So I suppose throughout history we've seen how easily twisting an ideology and perverting it, weaponizing it, politicizing it, could take us down the wrong path. And this is precisely what Khomeini has done, to the point that even the clergy that supposedly is representing the faith that he claimed took steps away from, calling this an aberration, calling it something that has nothing to do with tenets of religion. To me, religion has always been a private matter between a human being and the way he or she chooses to have faith in the Almighty or whatever. It should not be a matter of trying to impose our personal thoughts or ideologies on anyone else. I hope we see the day that on the streets of Iran, like it used to be, by the way, for the most part, anyone asking a fellow Iranian, what do you believe in? None of my business, none of anybody's business. But the law has to protect this. And this is why we should all understand that the guarantee for religious freedom is based on not just tolerance and not just these value systems of understanding the need for pluralism, but to understand how critical it is to respect these rights, something that this regime has undermined in the name of, oddly enough, religion. That's where the difference is. So as long as we recognize where the difference lies, when we realize that when people are free to worship as they want, but in freedom and under the rule of law, then we would not have any kind of deviation, any kind of twisting things, and that also requires, beyond law, education, awareness, readiness, and most importantly, never forgetting. Because a lot of what happens in our world today, and the reason sometimes history repeats itself, sometimes in the worst possible way, is not forgetting. We cannot afford to have another Holocaust. One time was too many already. And this is the kind of message, that we all recognize that we live in a different world. We live in a world of social media. We live in a world where as much as messaging becomes critical, our enemies are utilizing it to the max. We need to make sure that not only we respond in kind, but make sure that those who are on the right side of history are much louder than our enemies. This is why we need to be together. This is why we need to be unified. This is why we need to put our entire energy in it, because that, my friends, is the difference between a horrible world that we can expect or a different world that we can all enjoy in the aftermath.